Now for the legs, remember there's 4 of them, so what you do to one, you must do to the other 3. I'm just going to show you how to do one here, and you can do the other 3 in your own time. The very first thing we're going to use is our 300mm metal rule. I'm going to mark down from the top edge. Now for me, I don't particularly mind which edge I prefer. I kind of like the dual grain coming up here. It's kind of nice, so I'm going to save that as my top piece. And I'm going to cut down from this back edge here. So I'm going to come through, I'm going to mark down 65mm. 65. Now the reason we're going 65 is because we want to build in a little bit of room for error. Because trust me, we make mistakes. 65mm. Then we're going to come through and we're going to use our square. Now to use a square, it's very important you come through and you hold that nice and steady against there. And it can want to dip, so you put your finger on top, like so. Then you move it up to where you've marked, holding it tight, holding it there, and then you can use your pencil, I'm using a texture of course, to mark that up. Like so. From there, you actually want to go around and do it on all 4 edges, but do it, we don't need to dig into the material. So I'm going to come across, mark this up, if it's right, all your lines should match up. If not, you've probably held the square on a little bit of an angle, and just go back through, remeasure up and redo that. After you've got this sorted, I'm then going to come down, I'm going to cut off a portion of it, because to get the taper we need to remove some material. So we're going to come down, we're going to mark the bottom edge now, and I really, as I was saying before, I love the figure of this grain coming through. So I'm going to measure back 25mm from this edge. Now you can select your edge. So I'm coming back. Now for this we can use a technique called backstepping or back ruling. And for that, come up, rest your ruler on the 100mm mark. It's so you're not sitting here and it's trying to bounce down and it gets a bit problematic. Set up to 100mm mark and then measure to 125mm. Do your line. From there, we're going to get our 600mm ruler or metal rule, and we're just going to connect those. Now as you can see, my name's in the way, so we're going to move that name tag, and this is the beauty about having the tape, to somewhere where it's not in the way. So I'm going to bring it down to this end down here and place it there for now. And when your tape loses its stick, please go through, write yourself another one. Come through, line that up. Now we want to be precise here. Line that up. And I'm going to use my, come through and draw that. Now remember, we don't need to dig into the material. We just want it nice and soft so you can see it, so you know where you're working, but it's not damaging the material. We will then once again use our square to come across. And this is where I'm going to actually use the back side of the square. So I'm going to bring this line around just here, like so. I will then sit the square, instead of sitting it like this and trying to use that front edge, there's not much material for it to sit on. So I'm going to bring it to the back edge. And as you can see, you'll probably see my head right now. I can line that up to where I want it. And I can bring that ruler, the marker down. And then I've got that carried across to the other side. Now it's very important when we're doing this. We're going to mark this as scrap. So we don't need this ever. So the side that is coming off in like a large doorstop, I'm going to come through and I'm going to mark that off. Then we're going to come across, keeping in mind that it's this side that we're getting rid of, and do the same. From there, you will come across, mark that up, like so and like so. And sorry, my arm's in the way. Come through and draw that line on. I'll continue some of those X's down here and on top there. The reason we put the X's is to say that that's scrap. It's very important you're aware of that, because otherwise you'll end up cutting on the wrong side of the line or planing the wrong side, and that sucks. All right, you've gone through, you've sorted this out now. All it is time for now is to move on to the next step.